This example video is going to talk about how to compute relative frequencies using Excel and then use those new relative frequencies to produce a relative frequency bar chart, right? So we made a frequency one, a comparative frequency bar chart in the last video. And in this one, we're going to do relative frequency and look at how those are different. Right? So the first thing we're going to need are the totals. We need to know how many people are in group A and how many people are in group B, right? So what we're going to need to do is sum up the values in B2 through B7. If that is something you're comfortable with, if not, you can go through and comma between each one of these individually, and you can see that Excel is giving you the sum of these 6 cells, right? Oop, except not clicking in that one, right? It'll very handily highlight all of these things for you when you click back in if you need to figure that out later, right? So a sum of this chunk of cells is what we are going to need, right? So we have 141 and 216 are our two group sizes. So from that, to find the relative frequency, remember that we need to take the number that are in that category for that group divided by the total of that group, right? So we're going to put 141 there, right? So we want B2 divided by 141. And we can go through and we can copy that down. And if you look, now it says B5 divided by 141. It will kind of lower that down for us. Again, you can do this manually if you'd like, if that's more comfortable for you. I'm just trying to show you the small tricks of the trade as we go along, right? So we've got C2, again, right? So the number of dogs in group B, and we want to divide that by 216. Similarly, we need to copy those down through there. And we've got our relative frequencies, right? And so now we, just as before, we go in and we want to make a chart. We want to make a 2D bar graph. Maybe we'll make it sideways this time, right? And look at how the axis is different. Now the axis has these relative frequency values, right? I've got the ability now to see that the proportion of lizards kind of the same and way more people in group A than group B, the proportion of people in group A over group B like birds. And somehow I have made the other one exactly the same when I randomly made up these numbers, right? So other types of pets are equally popular. Dogs are way more popular in group B, and cats have slightly edged out in group A, right? So if we go back and we look at this one, you can't really tell that cats are more popular in group A, right? Because we're looking here at the absolute, the total frequencies. The value for group A is lower than the value for group B, but group B is larger, right? So just because there's more in group B than group A, the relative frequency of cats is higher in group A, right? So that's the benefit of using a chart like this one.